You've done everything right. You've saved diligently, you've invested, and you've probably hit a savings number you've been chasing for decades. On paper, you're ready to retire. So why does the thought of actually handing in your notice feel less like a celebration and more like a leap into the unknown? That feeling of uncertainty, it's common, and it's because we've all been taught to look for the wrong signals. We've been trained to focus on one big arbitrary number, while the real signs of retirement readiness are often much quieter and have little to do with hitting a specific target. That's exactly why we're making this video, to show you the 5 definitive signs that indicate retirement readiness so you can recognize when you are actually prepared to make that transition. Let's get right into it. First, let's break down the 5 signs. For each one, we'll cover what it is, why it is so important, and how you can assess for yourself. So the first sign is the weight of debt is gone. So this is the milestone where you have eliminated all high-interest, non-mortgage debt. Think credit card balances, car loans, and personal loans. This could also include paying off your mortgage, freeing up that single most largest expense for most households, but it doesn't necessarily have to. But why does eliminating high-interest debt matter in regards to retirement readiness? Debt is a direct claim on your future retirement income. According to the Employee Benefit Research Institute, workers who report having a problem with debt are significantly less confident in their ability to retire comfortably. Being debt-free means every dollar from your portfolio and Social Security can go toward your lifestyle, not to paying back a bank or a credit card company. So how do you know if you are in this position? Well, you just look at your balance sheet, right? Do you have any outstanding loans other than a low-interest mortgage? If the answer is no, then you have achieved a foundational level of financial freedom that's a key indicator of retirement readiness. And while debt elimination creates a financial foundation, understanding your government benefits at certain age abilities can really help with your struggles with retirement timing decisions. Let's talk about sign number 2, knowing your safety net is in place. What does this mean? This is a sign about reaching the key age milestones that unlock the foundational pillars of the American retirement system. For the most part, this means, Medicare eligibility at age 65 and reaching your full retirement age for Social Security, which for most people as of right now is either between age 66 and age 67. Why it matters? These benefits provide a guaranteed inflation-adjusted income floor that market volatility cannot touch. According to the Social Security Administration, this system provides benefits to nearly 70 million Americans today, and nearly 40% of people over the age of 65 are estimated to be living in poverty if they went without that government support program. And Medicare is arguably even more critical, as it dramatically reduces your single largest and most unpredictable expense, healthcare. Now you compare that to private insurance. So how do you know if this safety net is in place for you? It's kind of straightforward, right? Have you reached age 65, making sure that you're eligible for Medicare? Do you have a clear strategy for when you will file for Social Security based on your full retirement age benefit amounts and what your personal income needs will be? If yes, then your safety net is ready, according to current law that is, but things are subject to change in the future, so keep that in mind. And while benefit eligibility provides that security foundation as a sign that you're ready to retire, proper portfolio diversification will show your investment readiness for retirement income. So let's move on to the third sign here, which is that you are ready to retire, even if you don't feel like it. It's that your portfolio is built for a paycheck and not an arms race. This is a strategic shift in your investment philosophy. Your portfolio is no longer a racehorse, right? Built for maximum growth, but it's a workhorse built for sustainable income. This often involves creating a bucket strategy, where the first bucket you set aside 1 or 2 years of living expenses and liquid reserves. Another bucket you have of stable investments for intermediate needs. And then you have a third bucket that's designed for long-term growth. This structure is designed to help answer that question, how will I get paid each month? This provides a clear plan for generating income and helps to protect you from having to sell your growth assets during a market downturn. But this shift from focusing on daily market returns to focusing on a reliable withdrawal plan is the key to creating that added peace of mind. Now, how do you know if your retirement assets are built like that? Take a look at your portfolio. If the market were to drop 20% tomorrow, Do you have a clear plan for where your income would come from? Could your liquidity last for the next 2 years without having to sell stocks at an unstrategized loss? If you have that cash or short-term bond cushion, your portfolio might be mature and you may already be able to retire even though you don't think that you can. So now that you understand why portfolio diversification has its importance and its role in retirement planning, if you're wondering whether your specific situation shows these retirement readiness signs, click on the link below to book a call and we'll analyze your circumstances to help you recognize when you're actually prepared to retire. Let's move on to the fourth sign that you are ready to retire, even if it doesn't feel like it. The fourth sign is you are in the driver's seat of your spending. And what do I mean by this? This sign is about having absolute clarity on your expenses. It's not just knowing your total monthly spending, but understanding the difference between your essential spending needs, housing, food, healthcare, and your discretionary spending wants, travel, hobbies, etc. This understanding is the foundation for calculating your true portfolio income needs, or your PIN, as we like to say. And why does this matter? As research on retiree spending patterns has shown, expenses are not flat, right? They often decrease in the middle of years of retirement and then tick up near the end. But having mastery over your spending allows you to create a realistic, flexible plan. It means you are in control. In a tough year, you know where you can cut back on discretionary wants without affecting your core security, which is a powerful form of self-insurance. Now, how do you assess your portfolio income needs? Can you confidently write down your monthly budget, clearly separating your essential needs from your discretionary spending? Do you know what your lifestyle costs are, and therefore what income you will truly need from your portfolio? If you can, then you can calculate your portfolio income needs and start to determine if you could withdraw that amount on an annual basis from your portfolio for an extended period of time. As we noted a moment ago, your spending over the years will vary, but understanding you have those essential expenses covered can really help you psychologically feel more confident in your readiness for retirement. And while expense management creates sustainability, it's that financial independence from supporting others that can really make personal retirement feel possible. We often refer to that fifth sign as when you can finally put your own oxygen mask on. And what do we mean by that? Well, this is actually a deeply personal, non-financial milestone, right? It's the moment you realize your primary mission of financially supporting others is that this could be launching your children into their own careers or no longer having to provide care for aging parents. But here's why it matters. Supporting family members, it's a noble and often necessary role, but it introduces massive unpredictability into a financial plan. Research from institutions like the Pew Research Center has shown that a significant number of parents provide financial support to their adult children, sometimes to the detriment of their own retirement savings. True readiness is when you have not just the financial capacity, but the emotional permission to make your own dreams the primary focus of your financial plan. Take a look at your life and your budget. Are your financial decisions primarily driven by your own retirement goals, or are they still heavily influenced by the needs of others? When your own goals can finally take center stage, you've hit this crucial milestone. So now that we understand the signs that you're ready to retire in depth, let's see how they show up in a real life situation. Let me tell you about a couple. We'll call them David and Carol. They'd hit their retirement savings goal, but they were still filled with anxiety, and they had convinced themselves that they just needed to work a few more years, right? With their youngest child now financially independent, they could finally put on their own oxygen masks and really focus on their future together. They knew these were positive signs, but they were still filled with anxiety and felt years away from actually being ready to retire. So instead of just looking at their account balances, we sat down with them and looked for the 5 signs that we just discussed. First, we looked at their debts. They pay their credit card off in full every month so they can take advantage of some points without having to pay credit card interest. And with their auto loans recently paid off and only 6 months left to go until they've made their very last mortgage payment, David and Carol were set up to be debt-free very soon. Sign number 1, flashing green. Then we designed their ideal retirement lifestyle. This allowed us to calculate their true portfolio income needs, or their PIN. We discovered that they needed from their portfolio $65,000 a year after taxes to live the life that they wanted. This was a real, tangible target, sign number 4. Once we had that number, we could properly evaluate sign number 2, that safety net. We looked at their Social Security benefits and saw that if Carol delayed filing for just 2 more years, it would create a larger inflated adjusted income stream for the rest of their lives. Because we knew their exact spending needs, we could create a plan to bridge that 2-year gap using other assets. David was already 65 and enrolled in Medicare, and Carol was 64 with less than a year away from Medicare eligibility. With their income needs defined and their safety net optimized, we could finally focus on sign number 3, building a portfolio for a paycheck. We took their existing portfolio, which was just a mix of stocks and bonds and a pile of papers really, and we restructured it. We created a cash bucket to protect their income from market volatility and optimized their withdrawal strategy to be as tax efficient as possible. The result? Seeing how all the pieces fit together was a revelation for them. Their anxiety wasn't based on a lack of resources, it was based on a lack of having a cohesive plan. By working through that process and seeing that all the 5 signs were now flashing green, they realized that they didn't need to work longer, they were already ready. David and Carol realized their anxiety wasn't based on their financial reality. It was based on the old habit of just looking at one large arbitrary number. So now that you understand all 5 readiness signals, let's look at how to act on each of these signs to create successful retirement transitions. First, begin with an honest assessment. Which of these 5 signs are speaking to you right now? Second, connect the dots. Does your portfolio and your eligibility for benefits actually support the lifestyle you envision for your retirement? Third, create your transition plan. How will you navigate healthcare if you retire right before Medicare eligibility? What will your spending plan be for those first exciting years of your retirement? Build your timeline based on these real signals of readiness, not on some random date on a calendar. The key to all of this is focusing on these holistic indicators of your life, not just your account balance. And this is what can turn a scary leap into a confident next step. So now that you understand the 5 signs that indicate retirement readiness and how to act on these signals for successful transitions into retirement, you can recognize your own readiness rather than missing your ideal retirement timeline. If you want help evaluating whether these retirement readiness signals apply to your situation and develop a plan to act on them, click on the link below and book a call, and we'll analyze your circumstances to help make the best retirement timing decision for you. Until next time, take care.